Hi there and welcome to another episode of BTC Time with Tim Bennett. Tim Bennett Live coming to you here from I'm in Thailand. I'm at home, just sat on my sofa and I'm having coffee. My coffee's just here. So there you go. There's my coffee. So I really do have coffee. And this week we've been talking about Bitcoin all week. And you may wonder why I'm so crazy about Bitcoin. But first, let's recap about some of the things we've been talking about. What are Bitcoins used for? The first part of our video, we were talking about how you can use Bitcoin to transfer money internationally and overseas really, really quickly, really cheaply, really easily. So if you're transferring money or you have friends or family who are overseas workers, then it's a really great way for them to send money backwards and forwards and home. If you're doing business overseas, it's a really great way to send money. It's so cheap and so fast. Hello, Jane, honey, watching as always. If you're here, then let me know and I'll mention your name. If you're here watching, give me a thumbs up, give me a love, give me a like, give me something. Yeah, so if your Bitcoin is really great for people who are sending money internationally. The banks are horrendously expensive, horrendously slow and demanding. They want to know where the money came from. They want to know everything about everything in order for you to just send money to your family or friends. Bitcoin removes all of that and you can just send it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the world that has internet, to anyone without any questions. You don't need permission from a third party and no massive costs to send it. So if that was the only thing you could do with Bitcoin, I think that would be amazing. That would be worth getting Bitcoin for, just for that. Also, problems with banks. I'm living in Thailand right now, as you know, and we wanted to open a bank account here because we actually just wanted to put some cash in it. Actually, we wanted to transfer cash from the Philippines to Thailand. Because even though Bitcoin is my new passion and love, other than Jane, of course, we still work and live in a cash society. So we still need to have cash right now. But the days are coming when we will not. So I asked my bank in Manila, can you send me over some documentation? And can we send the money over, please? And they said, no, sorry, we need an original signature from you. And I was like, yeah, but I'm in Thailand and that's going to be really, really challenging to do. And they said, no, sorry, we can't do it. So 1 month later, I still haven't transferred the money because my bank won't cooperate. And then I wanted to pay some of the businesses that I work with, like my telephone bill and my office rental in Manila. And I asked my bank if I could do it on online banking. And they said, no, sorry, cannot. We only do online banking for personal accounts, no corporate accounts. And I was like, that is just so insane. So insane. So now I'm trying to find ways of paying them, and I've asked them if they can get an app called Coins.ph, which I can transfer money really, really easily. So be careful, banks, because the days are coming when we won't need you anymore. In fact, we don't want you already. You're too expensive, too slow, and too old to do what the modern day society wants us to do. So we're moving away from banking. So Bitcoin, if that was all Bitcoin did, it would be worth having. It would be absolutely fantastic. You should get Bitcoin just to do that, if nothing else. In fact, that was actually the whole reason Bitcoin was created, to give us freedom over our money and to take away the control of the banks and the financial institutions and the government and give it back to us. So have you ever felt like you work too hard and get paid too little? Well, that's because they have control over our money. And they keep playing with money. They keep devaluing it all the time. Just printing more and more and more, and it has no value. Bitcoin, you can't do that. They can't control it, they can't stop it, and they can't print more. So it retains its value. So is that cool? So Bitcoin was designed to give us freedom. So number one, if you're sending money internationally, it's awesome. The second thing you can do is you can buy Bitcoin and just hold it. It's called hodling. And I explained why it's called hodling in one of the early videos if you want to go and watch that. And what you can do is you can buy Bitcoin. Like right now, Bitcoin is about $6,400. It's actually come down in price in the last 2 days, quite a lot. But it is still 3 times more than this time last year. So this time last year was about $2,300, $2,400. If you'd have bought one Bitcoin then, now that one Bitcoin would be $6,000. So would you be happy? Even though it's come down a little bit, would you be happy? The answer is absolutely. You'd be happy. So it's called hodling. You buy it and you hold it for a period of time. Like, we expect Bitcoin to go up quite a lot, dramatically, by the end of this year. So if you buy now, which is, as I said, Bitcoin's about 6,400 right now. So it's kind of on sale. If you buy now, it could be worth $15,000, $20,000 by the end of the year or more if this year repeats last year. So just with that in mind, I would possibly, be tempted just to go down and put $100 in Bitcoin and hope that it triples or quadruples in value. Now, please remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not telling you what to do. And of course, there are risks to investing in anything, Bitcoin included. So don't ever, ever, ever invest any money in anything if you cannot afford to lose it. So if you got $10 and you won't commit suicide if you lose it, then put that in Bitcoin. Don't go sell the house. Don't go sell the car. Don't go and sell the kids or anything like that. Don't put it on credit cards. And another thing about credit cards, the banks don't like us using credit cards for Bitcoin. Not because they're trying to stop it happening, but it's actually because banks actually don't like you using one form of money to buy another form of money, if you get that. So you're using a credit card, which is fiat, and you're going to use their facilities to buy Bitcoin. They don't like that. Okay, so number 1, international trading. Number 2, buy and hold. It's called hodling. Number 3, I think, if I remember, was day trading. So you buy it for a very short period of time. Like, you buy it right now, it's low in price, and then hopefully by tomorrow or the next day it's gone up in price, or maybe even this afternoon it's gone up another couple of $100, and then you sell it and you make $200 or you make $50 in a day or 36 hours, 48 hours. It's called day trading. Day trading is extremely speculative and extremely risky, so I wouldn't do it unless you know what you're doing. If you'd have bought Bitcoin yesterday and you went to sell it now, you'd have lost money. But if you buy it now, and hopefully when it goes up later, you'll make money. Okay, but you don't know which way it's going to go. So it's extremely stressful. You sit there biting your nails. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? And you pray to every god and thing that you know and hope it goes up in value. But it's one way you can make money. And Jane and I have done that, and we actually made quite a bit of money. We've also lost lots of money as well. So be careful with that. So that's number 3, is day trading. Number 4 is, and I spoke about this very briefly, it's using auto trading systems. So there are automatic bots and trading platforms that you can use where you can basically invest your Bitcoin and the platforms will create more, which is actually a very exciting project. And we are working with 2 platforms, at least 2 platforms, which are really awesome platforms where we do just that. We give them $100 worth of Bitcoin and they give us back $120 worth of Bitcoin in a given time. And we're increasing the amount of Bitcoin we have. And that's actually one of the things that I would recommend that you do. And again, I'm not making any recommendations, but right now, Bitcoin is about to go into a second phase, which is where the institutions start coming into it. And we've done the early adoption already. We're kind of partway through the early adoption. And then the institutions are coming in. And then next will be the people taking Bitcoin and understanding it and using it on a regular basis. So as we go into the institutions adopting it, the value is expected to increase exponentially. So one of the things that Jane and I are working on is getting hold of as much Bitcoin as we possibly can. Okay? So these automated platforms are very, very interesting. Now you have to be careful with them because there's some real crappy platforms out there. And if this is something that you are interested, let us know, because we're working with 2 platforms that we can really, really recommend right now. Very low startup costs. You can actually get started from $40. and $50 as well, $40, $50. And they're extremely reliable. We've been working with them for some time. So if you'd like to understand how that works, they're extremely simple. A lot of this, people think is very difficult, but it's really, really simple. So there's some of the ways that you can use Bitcoin. Now, why am I so like crazy in love with Bitcoin right now? Well, it's a revolution that's happening right in front of our eyes right now. It's a financial revolution. And let's go back in time, in my lifetime. Let's go back in my lifetime. I remember when computers first came out, and people, like presidents, were making comments like, no one will ever need a computer in their house. It will never, ever be needed. How wrong were they? And computers were huge. I mean, the first computer that came out was the size of a small apartment. And now we have more computing power in our cell phones than were in the Apollo 11 that went to the moon, which is quite amazing. So I remember when computers first came out, and we were warned, governments and families. I remember my parents telling me how dangerous computers are. They're from the devil. And when the internet came out, it was even worse. Oh my God, you'll be able to go and see all these porn sites and drug sites and all these bad things, and it's going to be the downfall of human society. We were warned about all these things, and of course, now it's just normal. All these things. I remember when the telephone first came out, well, not the telephone, but the mobile, when the cell phone first came out, I can actually remember being on the London Underground, and there was a gentleman sat opposite me with a suitcase. And he opened that suitcase, and it was a cell phone. Do you remember those big old blocks? Well, for those of you who are, like 20 years old, you won't remember, but these were huge phones with big antennas on them that you pull out, and they were heavy, and everybody was laughing at him. Now look what's happened to cell phones. Now your domestic staff have 2 cell phones. Everyone has a cell phone. How about travel? I remember when I was at school, that one of my friends at school went on holiday internationally to Malta, and everyone was like, oh my God, Scott just went to Malta. We were like, oh, he's my hero. No one went overseas. Now we do it all the time. Again, your maids fly, your domestic helpers fly all over the place now when they go home to the provinces. So look back at these things. When the car first came out, they were considered a danger, and you literally had to have a man with a red flag walking in front of the car to clear pedestrians out the way. When the train came out, when Robert Louis Stevenson created the first train, it was the same. When the Wright brothers made the aeroplane, it was the same. Everyone said these are going to be the downfall of humanity. Stay away from these devil machines and these devil ideas, because it's going to destroy us. And of course, they didn't destroy us. They made us better in many, many ways. And some things, could have been better. I won't say it's all perfect. Nothing's perfect, except my relationship with Jane, of course. So what am I getting at? All these inventions that have been around for hundreds of years, every time something new comes out, there's someone saying, be careful, it's dangerous, it's the work of the devil, it's going to destroy us. Same when franchise came out. I remember when franchises first came out, they were illegal, they were pyramid scams, they were stay away from franchise. And then of course, now it's normal. I mean, there isn't a McDonald's or Jollibee or Burger King that hasn't got a franchise behind it. It's accepted. When multi-level marketing first came out, it was the same. Don't do multi-level marketing, it's a scam. And yes, there are some scams in multi-level marketing, but there are also some very awesome companies, like everything else. So my point is, and I know this is a long live video today, but it's an important video. I want you to understand the concept. This is going to happen with or without you. You cannot stop the adoption of Bitcoin anymore. And it's going to be huge. Robert Kiyosaki recently, he's actually writing a new book right now called Fake. And it's about the US dollar. And he's saying how fake the US dollar is. And he's predicting that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will completely replace the dollar in the next few years. And that the dollar is heading for a mighty crash. And when the dollar goes, all the other currencies go as well. So what's going to be around to replace the dollar? Well, he's predicting cryptocurrency will be one of the tools, as well, gold, silver and all that. One of the tools that will be around. So if it's going to happen with or without you, would you like it to happen with you? Because the people that adopt these things early are the ones who make the money. Like if there was a mistake I've made in my life, I would go back to the day about 30 years ago when I was living in London, and a friend of mine said, you have to see this. And he showed me the early internet. And at the time it was all this horrible text. And it was just like, what the hell is this rubbish? And I said, well, what'd you do with it? And he said, but you can find out how to fly the space shuttle. And I was like, wow. If there was a mistake I made in technology, it was that moment, because I didn't embrace it. I walked away from it. And the people I know who embraced it in those days, 35 or 30 years ago when it first came out, made millions and millions of dollars. Same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in its infancy right now, and you may not completely understand it. You may not have a slightest idea what it's about. That's okay. You don't have to understand it. Do you understand how electricity works? But you know how to use it. So you don't have to. Do you understand how your car works completely? Do you understand every single part of your engine? Because I don't, but I know where the steering wheel is. So you don't have to understand everything to use it, but what you do have to do is acknowledge what's going to happen with or without you. We have right now the greatest opportunity that I believe mankind has ever seen to make money. And I have friends who have, and they're close friends, who have made millions of dollars in Bitcoin. And they're actually working with me right now and teaching me how to do it as well. And I'm passing it on to you. So if there's a decision that you're going to make this week, I would make that decision to learn how to be educated about Bitcoin. And I would love to be the person to help you with that. You can go anywhere you want. I honestly don't mind. But educate yourself about Bitcoin. Get yourself some Bitcoin. Even if it's $5 or $10 a Bitcoin, get yourself some Bitcoin. If you don't know how to do that, let me help you. Send me a message. Go to the top of this page and click on send a message. And I will personally answer you. It won't be one of my friends answering you, one of my staff answering you. I will personally answer you, and I will help you get Bitcoin. I'll help you get started if you choose to. But there are some really interesting programs around at the moment and really interesting concepts around with Bitcoin. And if you adopt them now, in 6 months or 1 year, your life could be very, very different. You've seen my lifestyle right now. 1 year ago, Jane and I were struggling when my business wasn't doing so well, cash flow. We were starting to struggle with money, and now we're living in Thailand beside the beach. That could happen to you too. And I guess the reason you're working right now is to provide enough money so that you can pay your bills and have some luxuries for you and your family. Well, how long have you been doing that? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and you're still struggling? Have you made it yet? Well, this could be, I'm not going to make any promises, but this could be the turning point of your life. This could be, you could be in the house next door to us on the beach next year if you chose to. Yeah? Or you buy your own house, you see where it is. Now, no guarantees, and again, remember not to invest any money in any program, no matter what it is, whether it's Bitcoin, gold, silver, in business, insurance, real estate, it doesn't matter what it is, don't invest any money that you cannot afford to lose. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing this for educational purposes, and because my life completely changed because of Bitcoin. And I want to share it with you and give you the option to make the choice. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. It's been 7 days of videos about Bitcoin. If you have any questions about Bitcoin whatsoever, then just hit the message button above, or if you're on Facebook and you're connected to me on Facebook, then just shoot me a message. Happy to help you. And this afternoon, I'm going to do another quick live. I think Jane and I are going to have lunch on the beach. So when we go down to the beach, I'll do another quick live, and I'm going to share with you something very exciting that I'm going to do with you if you're willing to play. All right? So have a great day wherever you are. I wish you all the best. My life is my passion. Your life is your passion. Let's make it a great one. See you all soon.